Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
A woman shot in both legs, a fire in the food court, and a Kay Jewelers employee using a back room as a trauma bay.
Yeah, these are just some of the horrors detailed in a newly released arrest warrant.
And they give us an idea of what people endured when shots rang out at the Brass Mill Center in Waterbury Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules details how police say the accused gunman was identified, tracked down, and then arrested. She brings us tonight's update from Waterbury.
I read through all 42 pages of the police report. It details descriptions of the victim's injuries and how they say the accused shooter, 19-year-old Tawan Washington, was caught after he escaped the mall. Multiple officers responded to the Brass Mill Center in Waterbury at around 4:45 Tuesday afternoon after getting several calls to report a shooting victim outside of IHOP. When officers got there, they found a woman with gunshot wounds to both of her legs. Once officers went into the mall, they found 4 other victims with gunshot wounds. The police report details how mall employees didn't hesitate to help the victims. The report says a Kay Jewelers employee carried one of the victims to the back room of the store and put pressure on their gunshot wounds until first responders arrived.
To the people here who worked at the Brass Mall, they were helpful as well. They guided people out. They helped keep things calm here. People were hidden and were protected. So I want to thank them for what they did. This is not part of what their normal day would be like, and yet they all did a terrific job.
The report describes the scene as very chaotic. It said people were screaming for help as police were rushing in. A fire also started in the mall's food court after a stove was left on during the shooting. During the first search of the mall, police found several .40 caliber shell casings. After speaking with witnesses and using mall surveillance footage, the accused shooter, 19-year-old Tawan Washington, and a woman he came to the mall with were shopping inside of the King's clothing store when a group of people passed the store. Witnesses told police that Washington and the woman had a heated exchange with a group of people in the mall. Police interviewed the woman. She told them the group stopped outside the store and yelled for her and Washington to come out. She told police they said, quote, "We've got something for you." That's when witnesses say Washington walked towards the group, pulled out a gun, and fired it several times. 5 people were shot. After the shooting, police say Washington and the woman with him left the mall through the JCPenney and took off in a red Nissan car. Police say Washington and the woman went to his home until his parents took him to the police station to turn himself in. Investigators got a search warrant for Washington's home. They found several firearms as well as the red Nissan. Police say they also found the clothes Washington was wearing at the time of the shooting. In addition to the 5 people shot, a police officer was injured at the scene when they slipped and fell. Their elbow landed on a broken window panel. The officer was treated at the hospital. Washington now faces several charges, including 5 counts of assault and risk of injury to a minor. In Waterbury, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
The mall welcomed customers back today, but this violent incident has some people worried about safety. Management says they're on top of it, releasing a statement tonight reading, "At Brass Mill Center, the safety and security of our shoppers, employees, and retailers is our top priority. We operate with a stringent security program and partner closely with local law enforcement to provide a safe environment. While we don't share details on specific security measures, we are in discussions with Waterbury PD to implement increased police presence and patrols, reinforcing our commitment to ensuring visitors feel safe at the center." All right, a major drug bust in Hartford. A man is now facing federal charges after raids at 2 locations. Police searched homes on Amity and Florence Streets, and they found guns, drugs, and thousands of doses of fentanyl. 38-year-old Kenny Laporte was arrested. Police say the fentanyl alone could have been packaged into nearly 55,000 doses, each one of them deadly. Federal officials, or charges, I should say, are pending.
Well, there was a scary moment in Hartford this afternoon. A child fell from a 3rd-floor window. Police haven't said how old the child was, but they say an adult was there and helped break the fall. First responders rushed to Judson Street over reports a child had fallen from a multifamily home around 3:15. That adult partially caught the child, and they both fell into a bush. Thankfully, no one was badly hurt. The child was taken to the hospital to get checked out.
And new here at 10, 3 Liberty Bank locations in Connecticut are set to close this fall. The Middletown-based bank filed official notice with the state last week. Branches in Branford, Naugatuck, and Haddam will close in November, part of what Liberty calls a shift toward digital banking. The bank says no employees will be laid off, though. They will be reassigned within the company. And a first for our state will open this Saturday. Tonight, we're touring a canine rehab center whose owner says no dog is too big a challenge.
Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot is in Watertown, and she asked the owner why this work is so important to him.
Canine Rehab in Watertown opens its doors for good on Saturday. They specialize in rehabbing dogs with behavioral issues. Justin Michaels is the owner and head trainer at Canine Rehab. He specializes in training dogs that are not so friendly.
There were times when I was training some aggressive dogs and I'd go home with so much adrenaline I couldn't even eat. And I remember getting through that and continuing to work and say, no, these dogs need help. And so 15 years later, we're opening up our rehab center.
Michaels says their Watertown facility is unique because there's not many like this in the state. He, along with his 5 trainers, work with any dog, specifically ones that may come from chaos or unhealthy situations.
Anything that is diminishing the quality of life for the animal and or the owners, there's 2 elements. If the dog is diminishing the quality of life for the family, then that's unhealthy because those dogs get abandoned.
The facility has many training programs, including canine to 5-day training, obedience class, puppy development, private sessions, and so much more.
We reserve weekends for rehab, so the weekends are filled with rehab seminars. Our next rehab seminar is June 21st and 22nd. We've got people coming from all over the East Coast, from Maine all the way down to Long Island. This room is about 4,000 square feet, and it's a wonderful space. It's safe, and it's wide open, so that we can work on recall and socialization, and the dogs don't feel too cramped.
And for Molly Farmer, who is one of the facility's trainers, she loves connecting with clients.
Bridging that gap between clients and their dogs and helping them meet the needs that they're looking for. That's the whole point of a trainer, right? Like you go to the doctor for something specific. We're like the dog doctor.
If you're interested in registering for a program, you can find the full list on fox61.com. In Watertown, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Well, happy birthday, Derby. The city's celebrating 350 years.
Now, Fox 61's Stephen Reels got the lay of the land today and has a bit of the history that made the city what it is today.
The first people settled here in Derby in 1642, but it wasn't until 1675 that the town actually became established. But in just a matter of hours on Friday, the Derby Green right behind me, right here, it'll be transformed to help celebrate the town's 350th anniversary. As a gentle breeze waves the flags at Derby City Hall,
we're going to have all food trucks.
City Clerk Mark Garofalo makes sure everything is in place for Derby's 350th celebration.
There'll be a stage that's going to be placed here.
Garofalo was just 7 years old during the city's 300th anniversary and tells Fox 61 he wants to help show the best the city has to offer.
There's a lot of affection around it, and we wanted to make sure that it was done right. 5 generations of my family have lived here, so
right at home then.
This is it.
Now as a committee chair, Garofalo says rain or shine, the Derby Green will fill with music, games, and food for the celebration, while tours are carried out to highlight the bits of Derby history, from landmarks and transportation.
On that side will be the first electric trolley line in New England.
To the iconic Sterling Opera House that welcomed musicians and speakers from across history.
It's the first building in Connecticut on the National Register of Historic Places. Amelia Earhart spoke here. We were raised with a sense of community.
But in the moments ahead, Garofalo says it's the community of people who call Derby home that drive the festivities this weekend.
You guys excited for that?
Yes.
Like the Rivera sisters, Delia and Dakota. Excited to be that next generation of people who love their hometown.
What really makes someone from Derby?
It really makes you like a big-hearted.
Now this weekend celebration will only just be a small part of the full year of celebration. And for more information on what's coming next, you can head on over to our website, fox61.com. In Derby, Stephen Reels, Fox 61.
Just days after a surprise court ruling threatened to block President Trump's tariffs, a federal appeals court has stepped in, allowing those tariffs to move forward, at least for now.
The White House is doubling down, saying trade talks are still on track. Connor Hansen breaks down what this could mean for your wallet.
President Trump's sweeping tariffs are back on thanks to a ruling by a federal appeals court. It comes after the U.S. Court of International Trade threatened to stop or delay most of the reciprocal and baseline tariffs announced earlier this year.
Last night, the Trump administration faced another example of judicial overreach.
President Trump has been using an emergency powers law to impose tariffs. The trade court ruled it doesn't give the president, quote, unbounded authority. But the administration says it's confident its plan will work.
We are very, very confident that we're going to get this positive result, and we're even more confident that we're going to win in the end. You got to understand that Jameson Greer, the U.S. Trade Representative, is the smartest trade lawyer on earth, and that he chose this as the best option.
The White House says the court ruling did not delay any of its pending trade deals. It's holding talks with Japan and expects a delegation from India to come to Washington next week. Wall Street is watching closely, and major U.S. companies are waiting to see how it all shakes out. The CEO of General Motors says the automaker is moving forward with expanding U.S. production.
There's certain moves that we're already making to strengthen our North America manufacturing because we can do that with the clarity we already have.
The appeals court gave the Trump administration until June 9th to submit its arguments. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox 61.